So we're going to pick up in verse 9 of Second Corinthians, excuse me, First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. And then Paul goes on to say, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. And that's usually where people who are reading this verse stop. You'll hear it at a funeral sometimes that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. And oftentimes this is meant to be a comforting phrase for those who've lost someone and they're hopefully maybe going on to heaven. Except Paul doesn't stop there. In verse 10, he keeps on. He says, but God has revealed it to us by his Spirit. So we do know what has been prepared for us for those who love Christ. We know what's been prepared for us. God has revealed it to us by his Spirit, the Spirit that searches all things, even the deep things of God. But I get the sense that what he's saying is if you actually understood what was already yours, what has already been prepared for you, you wouldn't be asking God to solve this problem for you or to take this affliction away or to provide room or income or pay a bill. You wouldn't focus on the small petty things because you would understand you've already received everything that you need for every situation, everything that you need. I mean, it says God is prepared for those who love him. God has revealed it to us through his Spirit. And we know that we are heirs with Christ, co-heirs with Christ, and he has all the heavenly riches are his. Well, and we're going to get into this in chapter 3, but all the things are all things. So whatever we lack, we already have through Christ. That is what Paul, I think, is saying here. It's already been prepared for us, prepared. And usually when you think of preparation, it means you got to go and enjoy what's been prepared. If you don't enjoy what's been prepared, you're missing out. Look, I was sharing this last night. This was one of the revelations that came to me this weekend while I was down at the coast, watching the sun and watching my grandkids play. The story of the prodigal son, um, there's a lot of ways that there are just a lot of insights into that story that continue to fascinate me. But one of them is that the younger son, everything had been prepared for him, the younger son. Everything. He had everything prepared for him by his father. And so did the older son, right? That's how the story opens as the younger son goes and says, give me my inheritance. Give me what's been prepared for me. And the father gives it to him. Now, the younger son squanders it. He doesn't use it appropriately. And I was explaining last night, in some ways, that's the carnal Christian. We're born again. Our father is God, yes. We are heirs with Christ, yes. And we go and say, give me your Holy Spirit. Fill me with your Holy Spirit, Dad. Let me be now in charge of my life. Give me the power of attorney to go out and represent you in the world. And the younger son received all that and then wasted it on himself. Didn't help people, didn't bless anybody, squandered it. And he comes back home. And what does he receive? Not more inheritance. He receives mercy. He receives love. He had received grace first. Grace, we can, in this case, would be the inheritance, the goodness of his father. He received grace first. But he received mercy and love when he came back, which is what he really needed. And from now on, I don't think that younger son cares. I don't think he cares much whether he has one goat or 100 goats. I think he's perfectly content knowing that his dad loves him and that he's been received back into the family by his father. That's sufficient for him. That's part of the depth of knowing what we've received. On the other hand, the older son never asked for his inheritance. He's the son that's saved, but never asks for the riches that his father has already prepared for him. And I think that's part of what Paul is hinting at here. God has prepared for those who love him, who love him. Well, of course we love him. We say we love him. And we can only love him because he's first loved us. So once he puts his love in us, we are going to love him because we have no choice but to love him because we're made in his image and we have his spirit in us.